أن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن شر أنفسنا وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد، فإن خير الكلام كتاب الله وخير الهدى هدى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Allah Ta'ala has mentioned in a number of ayat of the Quran, وَقُلْنَا يَا آدَمُ اسْكُنْ أَنْتَ وَزَوْجُكَ الْجَنَّةَ وَكُلَا مِنْهَا رَغَدًا حَيْثُ شِئْتُمَا وَلَا تَقْرَبَا هَذِهِ الشَّجَرَةَ فَتَكُونَا مِنَ الظَّالِمِينَ فَأَزَلَّهُمَا الشَّيْطَانُ عَنْهَا فأخرجهما مما كان فيه قلنا اهبطوا منها بعضكم لبعض عدو ولكم في الأرض مستقر ومتاع إلى حين. Tremendous story from the stories of the Quran and the Injil and the Torah. And remember when we said to Adam, Ya Adam, live in the Jannah, you and your wife, in total felicity and safety, and eat from everything that you see in this Jannah that Allah Ta'ala has provided you with. But do not come close to this tree right here. It's the only thing you shouldn't do. Don't come close to this tree. Because if you come close to this tree, you're going to be from the Zalimeen. So the shaitan came and made waswas to them and caused them both to slip. And they went to the tree. And as a result of that, they were expelled from the Jannah. And Allah Ta'ala told them before expelling them, get out of the Jannah and go down to the earth. Go down. And when you come to the earth, there's going to be adawa between you. You're going to have enmity and animosity between you, Adam, and your wife, the husband and the wife. You're going to have animosity between family members. On the earth, there's going to be a lot of fitna and fasad. People are not going to like each other, and they're going to impress each other. You go to that tree, you're going to be from the Zalimeen. And we have made the earth for you a mustaqar and mata'. It's a place where you're going to live for a certain amount of time so that you can plant the seeds of good for yourself or the seeds of evil. It's up to you. And it's a place where you will be able to get your mata'. You'll be able to eat, sleep, and I'll give you everything you need to exist. This ayat of the Quran and these two ayat of the Quran, because of them, all of the firq, all of the madhahib, all of the masadik and masharib of al-Islam, the Muslims are in agreement that when Allah Azza wa Jal created Adam, Adam was ma'soom from every angle. He was mistakeless. He didn't sin. But once he went to that tree, now his nature became a nature where he's going to sin. He's going to make mistakes. His children are going to make mistakes. One of his children murdered his own brother when there were not even a lot of people around, and he murdered his own brother, took his life, which is the haqq of Allah. And he murdered him not because his brother made iqtida and harmed him, but because of his own hawa, jealousy, arrogance. He killed his own brother. So all of the Muslims are the understanding, once Adam got expelled from the hell, from the Jannah, he's going to make mistakes. The Prophet mentioned the famous hadith, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, كل بني آدم خطاؤون وخير الخطائين التوابون. All of Adam's children are going to sin, and the best of them are the ones who make tawbah. So there's not a human being who's walking around except that he's sinning. But the sins, we have to make perpetual jihad. We have to make a continued effort. Knowing that you're sinning, you're gonna sin, we have to try not to sin, but for sure we have to stay away from the major sins. The major ones, the big ones, because those are the ones we don't have to do. The minor sins, you can't help it. You're gonna fall into it. You try to wake up in the morning or after this Khutbah al-Jum'ah, if Allah gives us life, from Jum'ah to the Asr, you try your best not to do any sin. You're gonna sin. That's just the nature of Bani Adam. You can't help it. But we have to stay away from the major sins. إن تجتنبوا كبائر ما تنهون عنه نكفر عنكم سيئاتكم وندخلكم مدخلا كريما. If you people just stay away from the major sins that are haram for you, we will give you kafara and make the takfir of your dhanoob. Those minor sins, Allah said He'll clean them up by making salah, by making wudu, by making a dhikr, by reading the Quran, by making istighfar, by making tawbah, by giving sadaqah, by taking the right step to the masjid. You in the back row, you come from the back row to get into another row closer to the imam for prayer, for the Jummah, that will take away your minor sins. So many things that take them away. Fasting in the month of Ramadan, Hajj, Umrah, so many things. Just stay away from the major sins. And what are the major sins? They're clear. Everybody knows them. The biggest and the most dangerous is a shirk and its cousins, its relatives. A shirk, those things that open up the door for shirk, those things that are the cousins and connected to shirk. It's a major sin. Can't fall into that. A zina, can't make zina. Riba, killing someone. Magic, running away from the battlefield. Accusing a Muslim woman or a Muslim man of making zina, and you have no dalil. All of those are major sins. Talking about Allah's religion with no knowledge, major sin. Stay away from the major sins. We want to talk today, inshallah, about a major sin that not many people give it the taqdeer and the consideration that it deserves. Our ummah, we look at this thing as something real simple and light, when in fact, we should be looking at this thing as one of those things that's from the mubiqat, those things that will destroy you. And that is the sin of falling into any kind of innovation in the religion. As Muslims, we have to take a level of honor that Allah Azza wa Jalla is Al-Hakim Al-Alim. He knew what He was doing. He knows what He's doing when He legislated this religion. And this religion is not in need of anybody here coming to add to it or to take from it. The religion is not even in need of us practicing. But that's what Allah wants from us. He wants us to practice the blueprint that has been laid out for us. That's what He commands us to do. Practice. He didn't ask anyone, command anyone, tell anyone, introduce something new in the religion. Come up with something and tell it. He didn't ask us to do that. Just practice the religion. Innovation is a serious issue. All we have to do is look at the Christians and look at the Jews. Their whole religion from the beginning to the end is what they created for themselves. And as Muslims, when we listen to them, we say it doesn't make sense. We can clearly see that they are astray, that they're upon dalala. But then when we have to look at ourselves and look inside of ourselves, we don't make the connection and we don't see it. Innovation. One of the main reasons why innovation is dangerous is, as I mentioned, innovation is like a cousin of shirk. I say that and I use that word just to give you an idea. Rasulullah didn't say that. The Salaf didn't say that. I'm saying it's the cousin, it's the relative, meaning it's up there with it. It helps to create shirk. Allah Azza wa Jal asks the rhetorical question that doesn't need any answer. Am lahum shuraka shara'u lahum min ad-Deen ma lam ya'dhin bihi Allah. Did they have partners? Do these people have partners who have legislated for them in the religion that which Allah Azza wa Jal didn't give them any permission to do. Anybody in this masjid who comes up with an idea and he says, this is an ibadah we want everyone to do, and he's introducing that, everybody has to look at him and say, hey, my man, you have lost your mind. The religion of Islam is complete. And if we all came together collectively, especially the uqala, the muta'allimeen, those who are educated for us, we sat in the corner and came up with an ibadah, not from al-Islam. Wallahi, we are straight if we were to do that. Innovation is a major issue. Another reason why it's a problem and it's dangerous is the hadith of al-Mustafa al-Mukhtar, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Inna Allah hajab tawbata and kulli sahib bid'atin. Allah has put a veil over the eyes and the heart of every person who does innovation. That's the danger of innovation. It's like the Jummah. From the dangers of not attending Jummah is the person who misses Jummah 3 times in a row, 3 weeks in a row, for no valid reason. Allah will put a seal on his heart. He won't be able to distinguish good from bad, up or down. He won't even be bothered that he's not coming to Jummah because that seal is over his heart. That's one of the worst punishments, that Allah blinds a person. A man with his wife, he doesn't tell the truth with his wife. She asks him, where you been? You coming in the house 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. He's lying. He tells her a lie. And then they get into an argument, and he's really upset and arguing because he believes his own lie. Just like that. He's arguing with her because he's believing his own lie. And he know from the very beginning he wasn't telling the truth. What are you arguing for? What are you arguing for? But that's what happens. When Allah seals the eyes, like these non-Muslims who can't see the beauty of Islam. No matter what you say, they can't see the beauty of Islam because there's a seal on the heart and the eyes. So the one who makes innovation, Allah Ta'ala doesn't forgive him. Not because he can't be forgiven if he makes tawbah, because he's going to continue to do that innovation thinking that it's correct. Just want to give a quick example. And this khutbah is not about the example, but I think it's one of the glaring examples that leaves no doubt in the mind of an intellectual person. And that is what's been happening these days with the Mawlid. I don't have time to go through the Mawlid. Every year we have to do the Mawlid. But it's an issue no matter what you say. Some people just not gonna listen to you. It just doesn't make sense what you're saying. That when they asked the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Rasulullah, who's the most beloved person to you? He said, Aisha. And then who? Abu Bakr. Although Aisha was the most beloved to him, you never saw Aisha doing anything like that. You never saw Abu Bakr expressing his love for the Nabi like that. How can I do that? As a revert Muslim, Abu Usamah, how do I allow myself to come to the religion and do something Abu Bakr and Aisha did not do? Calling myself and believing I'm doing something that Allah loves, something from the haqq of the Nabi. I want to ask you brothers a question, and I want you to think about this, because it's not about the Mawlid. The Mawlid was Wednesday, and then Thursday, and then Friday. The Muslim countries stretched out the days and gave the Muslims a long weekend. Already we have qillat al-intaj where we come from. Already we don't produce. We're lazy. We're not producing. We're going to give the people 3 more days not to be productive for nothing. But I want to ask you a question. Some of the hukam of the Muslims, the leaders of the Muslims, who I make dua to Allah that He gives them islah, and He gives us islah as well. Some of the leaders of the Muslims, they want to normalize economic and political relationships with the oppressive, racist state of Israel. And some of the Muslims get mad. Muslims in the Khalij, Muslims in Africa and North Africa, if we hear that our leaders are normalizing relationships with the racist, hateful country of Israel, the Muslim community gets upset. And rightly so, to a certain degree. I understand where that's coming from. I understand that energy, because Allah explained their situation to us in the Quran and in the Sunnah. But now the question is, why the hypocrisy? I want to let you people know, if you don't know, Rasulullah died, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. 600 years after his death, there were a group of people called the Qaramita. The Qaramita, they're one of the worst Muslim groups that ever existed in history. You're not going to find too many groups like this group. Ilhad, Zindaqa. They were on another level of fisq and fujur. These are the people who gave us the Mawlid. Just very quickly, we have a problem with the hukam of the Muslims, normalizing relationships with the Jews. If someone came and said, Israel told us to do this, we're going to say, man, get out of here with that. I understand that. These people who gave us the Mawlid, they went and laid siege to Mecca and Mukarramah. When? In the time of Al-Hajj. And the Muslims were there in Ihram. And at the Kaaba, these people killed 10 to 30,000 pilgrims in Mecca and Dhul Hijjah, and then picked their bodies up and threw the bodies in the Zamzam well, and then messed up the Kaaba and took the black stone and broke the door of the Kaaba and left with the black stone and was gone for many years until it was sent back. I ask you, Ummatul Islam, do you think people like that are going to give us something good in our religion? Do you think someone who that's his description, a group of people who can kill 10 to 30,000 Muslims at the Kaaba, at Hajj, Dhul Hijjah, throw the bodies in Zamzam well in the water, do you really believe they're going to give us something that's going to benefit us? 600 years after the death of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, wallahi, billahi, tallahi, if I was invited to have dinner, or the Prime Minister of Israel gave me some food, gave me a gift, I'm not taking it, because I'm going to think the food has poison in it, the way that Jewish lady tried to poison the Nabi of Islam, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I'm not saying every Jewish person is like that, but the Prime Minister and the people who run that regime and the people who think like that are enemies to me, enemies to Allah and His Messenger. And if they gave me something, I'm not going to take it. Why am I going to take it? To live my life. They're trying to destroy me. How in the world can we practice such a practice that was given to us by people? This is the example. So the khutbah is not about the Mawlid. People are going to do the Mawlid whether you like it or not. Don't even get into trying to refute it, almost. It's like that now. It's just insanity. But as we always say in this masjid, let our Islam resemble the Islam of those companions. And what they did is enough. And whenever people used to invent and introduce in the religion, those companions would always tell the people, don't do that, because we didn't do that. That was their proof. They can bring ayat and ahadith, but they would tell the people who did those things, who came after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, don't do that. We didn't do that. One of the groups that has gone astray, and they have invented and introduced a lot of innovation in the religion, are the people who call themselves the Shiite. They go overboard in Ali, go overboard in Ahlul Bayt. And if you don't like Ali and you don't like Ahlul Bayt, something's wrong with your Islam. But be in the middle. Don't go overboard. Don't go overboard. Anyway, those Shiite during that time, they started saying that the Nabi of Islam, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he told the people that Ali ibn Abi Talib should have been the Khalifa after the death of Rasulullah and before Abu Bakr radiyallahu anhu. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So they said that the Nabi of Islam, he hid from the people this information. He was supposed to tell the people, but he hid it. Someone came to Aisha, Masruq from the Tabi'een, with a group of people. They told her this. Some people were saying that Rasulullah hid this information and Ali was supposed to be the Khalifa, not your father. Aisha told Masruq and the people, listen, If anyone tells you that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't tell us something about this religion, then you have to look at that person as being a kadhab. Not a kadhib, a kadhab, a pathological liar. Sigha mubalagha. Not that he lies a little or he makes little lies. He's a kadhab, a big, mammoth, massive liar. And then she began to tell him. Allah mentioned in the Quran, وَمَا فَرَّقْنَا فِي الْكِتَابِ مِنْ شَيْءٍ. Allah said, we didn't leave anything out of this book that you need to know. If the Mawlid was from the religion or any of these innovations, it would have been in that Quran. It would have been in the Sunnah. So anybody tell you that, then you let them know that person's a liar. Today, we completed for you your religion. We don't need any Amr, Bakr, Zayd coming to us, telling us, look, this is good. It'll get you close to Allah. Because the Nabi did his job. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Abdullah bin Mas'ud, listen to this. Because this is one of those incidents that happened that as a Muslim, we have to remember that. He came to the masjid and he saw some people doing a nice thing. And what they were doing was the dhikr of Allah. It's a beautiful thing. Allah bi dhikrillahi tatma'inna al-qulub. Beautiful thing. But that man, he was in the middle of the circle of those people. He was in the middle of those. And it was 10 circles. And the people in the masjid doing the dhikr of Allah. That's a beautiful thing. Abdullah bin Mas'ud came into the masjid. He saw that situation. The companion came and said, look at what they're doing. They're doing something that we are not doing. We don't do this, the companions. He said, why don't you say something? He said, okay. He went to him, he said, hey, you people, wayhakum, hey, take those pebbles and count your sins. Because I swear to you, Allah Ta'ala won't take your sins away, won't take your good deeds away. Ma asra'akum halakatan ya ummat al-Muhammad. How quick it is you allow yourselves to get destroyed. And then he pointed. He said, look, around this masjid, you will find the companions of Rasulullah mutawafirin, mutawajideen. They are many and they're all over the place. If you want to know about this religion, just go out of that door, that door, that door, that door, walk on any street, go on any street in Medina. You're going to find a companion and you ask him, is this what the religion is? That's simple. So his dawah to them, his lesson to them was, the thing that you're doing, it was not done like this during the time of the Nabi. Now the person can come and he could take ayat of the Quran, he could take ayat and ahadith and support that. Ayat about dhikr. But the Quran was revealed on the Nabi and those people witnessed it. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Wallahi, that's so basic and fundamental. It really is mind-boggling that some of us, our iman, our hearts, our souls find it very difficult to get our heads around and to buy into the reality. What the companions did, understood, how they practiced, the aqidah, that is enough for us. Whatever they didn't do, leave it alone. If they didn't go overboard in Ahl al-Bayt, we don't go overboard in Ahl al-Bayt. You want to know one of the serious innovations now? The innovation of muta marriage. I'm a new Muslim. Someone shows me muta marriage. It's in the Quran, it's in the Hadith. That's true. But now the question is, did the companions practice it the way you're practicing it? And in the time like you're doing in this condition? The answer is no. We'll be divinely protected. Don't give us ayat and hadith and generalize them and give your own tafsir and ta'wil. That's a dangerous path. Listen. One of the innovations right now that's a scourge on our ummah are those people who have the qualities and the characteristics of the Khawarij, the first deviated group in Islam. And they were dangerous, and they continue to be dangerous. The Khawarij were those people who, they make takfir of the Muslim. If you do something, you make zina, you drink khamr, you do something haram from the kaba'ir, you do an innovation, they'll expel you from Islam. You can't do that. You can't expel people from, that's one of their innovations. Another innovation, if they disagree with you, they're gonna take the sword out and they're gonna shed your blood. That's how they work. They had many characteristics. Low tolerance. The only Muslims in the world is him and his friend. It could be 100,000 people going around the Kaaba. As he's going around the Kaaba with his friend, he believes you and I, Jannah is just for you and me. No one else, none of these people. That's how they think. From the Khawarij, and what they did was they revolt against the Muslim leaders. And then that's a problem. Abdullah ibn Abbas went to debate those people. First thing he said to them, he said, I just came to you people from the Khalifa of the Muslims and the cousin of the Nabi and his son-in-law, married to his daughter. He's not gonna marry his daughter to a bad person. And also, I just came from all of the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وَلَيْسَ فِيكُم مِّنْهُمْ أَحَدًا. And there's not one of the companions with you. You're all by yourself in this thing that you're doing. So tell me, what's the issue that you have with the Khalifa Ali? They began to tell him, and he dealt with them and convinced many of them, and they left that stuff. But look at the fiqh of Abdullah ibn Abbas, and this is the message. I just came to you people from the companions of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and none of them are with you. So if the companions are not with us in anything that we're doing or understanding or believing in, it is a problem and it should be avoided. This khutbah is not just about the mawlid. It's about the time that we're living in, the time of ghurba, where if you don't practice this khurafat and really it doesn't make sense to you, people will have problems with you. But it's our job, our responsibility to just give dawah and just to enlighten our relatives and those people are responsible under our authority and also in our masajid. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ونسأل الله تعالى التوفيق والسداد. الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا وطيبا مباركا فيه وصلوات الله وسلامه على نبينا الأمين. Whenever the Prophet used to give the khutbah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whenever he used to marry people, whenever he wanted to address people, he used to tell the people all the time, the best speech is the speech of Allah. And the best guidance is the guidance of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the worst affairs are the newly invented matters in the religion. And every newly invented matter leads to the hellfire. So really the person is up to him. If he wants to do it because it feels good, it smells good, it tastes good, because it's an opportunity to eat sweets and cake, and it's an opportunity to eat lahm and biryani, so I'm going to have a weak religion, I'm going to do it. The person is allowed to do that. It's between him and Allah. But we should be consistent. We shouldn't be the people of these double standards. What's the double standard and the hypocrisy? Look at the hukam. Look at the hukam. They're doing this, they're doing that. What about us? What about us? A person who introduces in this religion what is not from this religion, that is up there with zina. That is up there with murder. That is up there with riba. That is up there with the tawalli yawm az-zahf. It's way up there. It's not down here. Because now what happens is our children, they're born and they're raised up. And in the Muslim world, the mawlid is part of the religion. Our children grow up, and that's the religion. And now our religion changes the same way the religion of the Yahud and the Nasara changed. Christmas, Easter, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and when you tell them, hey, what are you doing? They say, hey, take it easy. And this is our answer. So Ummatul Islam, what we've received from the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam before dying, he asked his companions, did I relay the message? They all said, you relayed the message. He didn't leave anything out. We don't need to introduce anything in this religion. Whoever introduces in the religion that which is not from it, it will be rejected. Allah won't accept it, and he won't accept the tawbah from the person who does it until he leaves that innovation. May Allah Ta'ala make us of the people of Ahl Sunnah, those people who just want to do what has been given to us and legislated for us, and may He bring us far, far away from innovation, from falling into it, and also from those people who innovate in our presence and not try us with those kinds of trials. We have enough on our plate in terms of other tahaddiyat that we don't need this zawaid from the folder that's going on. Aqim as-salah. Yarhamakumullah.